Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we've got something pretty interesting. We're going to be testing out this Apex turbocharger, and we're going to see if we can make the same power with this little guy, a 64 millimeter, as what we did with the previous 72 millimeter turbo. So these Apex turbos are known for really quick spool and making a lot of power in a small package. So I'm a little bit skeptical. I don't think it's going to make the power that the 72 did, but we're going to put it through the paces and see what it does. So like I said before, this is a 64 millimeter Apex. It's a 6466. It has that hubless design on the compressor wheel. Really nice stuff. This is a flange that's class legal for racing. They want you to protect yourself from spitting the turbine wheel up into the crowd or up into the stands out your downpipe. So that's a really nice unit. And the car we're going to be testing this on is a 2020 Supra, fully built 2020 Supra. This car's been 790 in the quarter mile. It was a max effort drag car that we've kind of dialed back a little bit. Now it's more of a street car, which is the reason for putting on a little bit smaller, more responsive turbocharger. So we're going to do some back-to-back dyno testing right over here on our in-house Mustang dyno. 72 millimeter turbo first. Then we're going to swap on the 64 and we're going to take you guys along the way. So we've got our baseline pulls done. We've got 3 different boost levels on the 72 millimeter turbo. This will be our baseline that we can do all the comparisons against. So we're basically going to install the 64 millimeter Apex turbo, run it at these same 3 boost levels, overlay the dyno sheets, and then we can compare results. So we got the turbo off. Got it over here on the table. So here's the new turbine housing. The return line was hitting the flange a little bit there, so we clearanced it in the belt sander. But looks like it's going to bolt right up. The turbine flange is the same size. The downpipe flange is going to work perfectly, so this thing's going to bolt right up. The only thing we're going to have to do, obviously, is weld on this 90 to our compressor housing. So we're going to bolt up the turbine housing with the center section on it right here. Hopefully the return line will clearance. We'll have some clearance here on this flange, and then we'll fit up the compressor housing and get it to sit real nice on the intercooler pipe, and we'll be ready to put it back on the dyno. So I mean, in an ideal situation, you like to swap it on the dyno. Because of the situation that we're in, having to weld and fabricate, and I thought honestly we were gonna have to switch the downpipe flange also. We don't. I guess we could have done it on the dyno, but I'm still glad we did it here. So mount up the turbine housing center section. Let's do it. All right, so we cut off this piece, and this is the elbow that we're gonna have to weld on. But I'm basically trying to get it to sit a little bit like this. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut this lip off, and I'm gonna cut it at a little bit of an angle to give me that angle that I need to match up with the piping in the car, and we'll see that here in a second. We'll put this on the belt sander. Get it nice and flat. So we've got the turbocharger installed. We just got this welded up. Just got our 90 on there so it meets up with our intercooler pipe real nice. Turned out real good. So basically all we got to do is we've got to install this compressor housing on, hook up our wastegate lines, and then we're going to load it back on the dyno. So let's do it. All right, so we finished our dyno tuning session here, or our dyno comparison session, and the results are actually pretty surprising. So the smaller turbo obviously spooled up faster. We kind of knew that was going to happen. That's the whole reason we put that on the car, because we're going from like a max effort drag setup to more of a street car, and I wanted that that spool and that response in the turbocharger. So it spooled up faster for sure on all the different pulls. It ended up spooling up roughly about 500 RPM sooner, which when you're on the street, I mean, I mean, the car's gonna feel completely different when it spools that much faster every single time you press the gas pedal. So that's really, really nice. And what's also really great is it actually made the same power top end. So this is our results at 32 PSI, and for almost a 10mm difference in turbo size, this is incredible. I think as we increased boost pressure, we might see a little bit more of a restriction on the smaller turbo to where it might fall behind. But on this setup, we're not going to be running 40, 50 pounds of boost. You know, that's not our end goal. Our end goal is going to be, you know, at most, we're probably going to be 35 pounds on the street. On the street, on drag radials, you know, 35 pounds, 900 wheel in a two-wheel drive car is a handful to hook. So I want this car to hook, to be fun, not to blow the tire off and fishtail all over the place, you know what I mean? So we're gonna leave the car roughly where it's at right now, and for me, this is a much better turbo for the application and for my goals. So spooled up faster, made the same amount of power. We did 4 different boost levels. I've got the dyno sheets printed out over here, so we'll go over those here real quick, so let's check it out. So we've got our overlay at 22 PSI. The apex is blue, and the 72mm is the red. So at 22 PSI, the 72mm started to make a little more power up top, but still has that 500 RPM spool difference. If we move on to the next dyno sheet, you can see still comes on that 500 RPM quicker, exactly the same in the mid-range, and then made a little less top end. I think that was maybe some boost target issues. Kind of the same results here with the 30 PSI, came in sooner, overlaid in the middle, made a little less up top. These 32 PSI results though are pretty surprising. So yeah, I mean, if you want a turbo that's gonna spool up better, have better transient response, be a better overall street turbo, you go down in turbo size, right? But we didn't have to sacrifice top-end power going down in turbo size, which is a game changer in my opinion. So this doesn't apply to just a Supra. This applies to any car with a turbocharger on it. So if you have a Honda Civic, all-wheel drive Honda Civic, front-wheel drive Honda Civic, you can go down in turbo size, get a little bit better response, and be ready to go, you know? So same thing with the GTR. You know what I mean? I don't see a lot of GTR guys trying these turbos, right? Same thing with a Coyote, you know, anything with a turbo, this is gonna apply to. So I think this Apex turbo technology and the shaftless design is really a game changer. You know, I've seen it with our own racing program with Red Demon, and we're seeing it right here with a street car on our dyno. So shout out to Apex Turbo, nice work guys.